Hey, what's up, y'all? Just a quick message, just something that I found interesting that I think people should know. So, hopefully, this message can get spread because more people need to understand what's going on here, especially the types of people that they support, and they need to know who they're supporting, what the people they're supporting actually are about, what they do, what they think. So I was watching a clip on about Candace Owens. Now, don't get it twisted. I am not one of them. I don't. Yeah. So, uh, I was just you watch opposing views. You don't just watch what you think. You watch what the opposition thinks. It would be dumb not to, because then you can't understand them how to beat them. So Candace was saying how she basically believes through her evidence that Erika has been bought and sold by Israel, Netanyahu. And it's obvious. Anybody who can't see what's happening here with a handful of information, I got a bridge to sell you. So uh, Netanyahu called, made an offer to take TPS USA to the next level. Um, Kirk turned him down. So Kirk turning him down was him signing his own death warrant. Erika was made aware she would take over, and she's an actress. She's just playing a role. She doesn't care about Charlie. She probably never did. Or at very least, she views money, power, and success as way more important than her husband. I don't care about any of that, really, because the issue here today that just irked me is that Candace, you're a very smart woman, correct? So if you believe this, as I do, I believe you. Israel runs everything here. Has Donald Trump in their back pocket. He's a moron that would be controlled by anybody who's more intelligent than him, which is 100% of the population. So especially if you have power and influence, you can control that man. So yes, obviously that's what's going on. But my point is, Candace, you're a very smart lady. I've never been able to reconcile your intelligence with your ability to do the mental gymnastics of being a self-hating black woman, spreading misinformation, stuff that it doesn't even come close to true, stuff that if you did the tiniest of digging, you would realize the rhetoric you're spitting is illogical nonsense. She didn't love her own people enough to do the types of research she's done for Charlie Kirk's death, a racist white man's death. She's done more research on that than she has on understanding the plight of the black person in the States today. There were 3 victims in Minneapolis. One of them was black. He never gets mentioned. Trump just disrespected Obama by depicting him and his wife as apes. Disgusting. This is a disgusting, very stupid man who's being led around by Stephen Miller and Bannon, people who have the worst interests for anybody who doesn't have money, for anybody who's a minority. And Candace has been happily joining along with all the bullshit, never once warning us, not even ever once telling the truth. So Candace, if you believe this story that Erika has taken the money from Netanyahu, ask yourself this. Why would Israel want to fund not racism, Turning Point? The racism that you love, the racism that you really like, Candace, that hates black people, that tells lies about who we are and what we do, will cherry pick statistics to make us look bad intentionally. Never once taking an honest look at how poverty in any community controlling and destroying their education system, food systems, all of these things combined, she knows that these things create the same person. Black, white, Chinese, or other. You put them in the same situation, you get the same thing. Poverty creates the same thing every time. She knows that once before, out of poverty, the people that she hates so much, black folks, we were just fine. Ask Candace, do you think rich black men are killing people or shooting each other or stealing and robbing? They're not. So is the problem with black people, Candace? Because you're black and you're doing okay. Is it with us in general? Because I have not committed the types of horrors that you have committed against your people. You sold out the entire United States by endorsing this nonsense, and nobody has ever gotten an apology from you, Candace. You're so intelligent, but you just haven't gotten around to really figuring out what has happened continuously to the black people in the U.S. who have continued to be successful, thriving, innovating, creating. We've continued to arrive, but there are some of us who just don't make the cut, who are stuck outside. Some of us who don't have the skills to get the same jobs shouldn't be left outside to suffer in poverty. And if they weren't left outside to suffer in poverty, if their education was commensurate with everybody else's, they wouldn't be there. And the gangsters would not exist if they woke up every day with commensurate food, education, and security. These are just the facts. The government knows these facts. The government could solve this. The reason they don't is because they don't care about black people and they want them to kill each other off and go into their private prisons. So they support drill music with billions and billions of dollars because they want kids to think it's cool. They want black kids to think it's cool to go and kill each other, go to prison and go to prison. They love it. They're laughing at us. Go fill our private prisons. It's a horror show, but it only takes a little bit of research to understand what's clearly happening. As a black woman, Candace, I am disgusted with you. I love black women. Every black woman. I love you all. Respect to every one of you. Every shade and variation of my sisters. I love all of y'all. I respect you. But Candace Owens, you're not one of us. You crossed the line. It's fine to be over there hanging out with other people, marrying others. That's fine. But when you turn against us and want to talk about us in ways that are incorrect, factually incorrect, statistically incorrect, for money, power, success, position, eventually the people who are intelligent enough to understand what you're doing are going to call you on it. You think it won't come to the light, but you will be remembered in the same way J.D. Vance will be remembered. An assistant to Hitler. Because Trump is just what Hitler is. If it weren't for the fact that the USA will be harder to defeat on so many different levels, on so many different fronts, for so many different reasons, so he probably won't be able to take over in the same way. And he's too old. He's going to die soon. But what she has been supporting would become fascism at its highest level, where everybody who's not wealthy, white, Christian would have to live in fear. So anyways, I can't think too much more about this stuff because it frustrates me a lot to think about people like Candace and the fact that I can't talk to someone like Candace and tell her these immutable facts. I would love to debate her. Obviously, I'm nobody, so that's never going to happen. But there's no getting around these immutable facts. There's nothing she can do to get around what I have to say to her about the facts of reality that exist right here and now, and her own hypocrisy. You don't get to just slide in here and make this all about one thing when you understand what's going on here completely. The situation with TP should have shown you should have thought to yourself in pretty quick succession these things, because you're so smart. So you should have went, boom, Erika's tripping. I've gotten this, and this information. It really seems like she took the money from Netanyahu when Charlie wasn't willing. So now I'm going to go on this campaign against them for going against me. Never once took a second to think, why would Netanyahu want to fund racism in America? I mean, I guess you don't think TP was racism, but it was. So why would it want to fund divisive hate for others? Why has it been doing that forever now? What interest would they have in doing that? Obviously, she should be able to make the connections here and then wonder who else around the world must have been disenfranchised whenever it made sense to do that. Now, black folks throughout history have been the scapegoat, have been disenfranchised by things like this because we're 13% of the population and do not have the power to stop what's coming when it's coming from the government. But Candace has too much education to not understand. So I have to assume that she just doesn't care about black people. She's bought in from Charlie that they're just inherently bad, and she just happens to be a mutation that's good, and her children will also be that because she is. And but eventually, if her kids keep marrying white, then her family will be white and she'll be good. All right. Anyways, I hope that people will share this because I want to get around to asking Candace those questions. I think it's important.